Hey guys, welcome back to the part 2 of my video. So today I'm going to be finishing up my winch install, which is an electrical piece. My last video was swapping out my winch, so I will link that video up above. So the purpose of this video is to show you guys and to figure out where all the wires go on this particular VR10 Warn winch. Normally, winches are pretty simple to install. Once you get it mounted to your bumper, it's just a matter of taking your positive and your negative cable that came with the winch and tapping it to the terminal on your battery, and you're done. But what's unique about today's project is that it has already existing harness that I want to use that's already installed on the truck. The biggest problem here is trying to figure out where to connect these existing wires that's coming down here off of the existing wiring harness and how that's going to fit onto my Warn winch. Because one thing that I am not going to need is, let me zoom out here. So one thing I am not going to need is I'm not going to use this particular, what do you call this? Remote box. So the part that I'm a little confused on, and I want to make sure I get this right, is the wiring that goes in here, because I don't think I'll be using all these wires that's hanging here, because I'm going to use the existing wire to plug into these terminals. But I want to make sure I unplug the right ones or connect to the right place. So let me just show you guys what I'm working with. So under this remote box here is this box. My goal here is to figure out which of these cables I can pull off, which equates to up here, where I can use the existing wiring harness from down here to up here without effing up my winch. So let's go take a look at the existing winch that came off of this truck. Now I gotta go and see if these terminals matches the Warn winch. So let's just actually drag this over to the Warn winch and do a side-by-side comparison. Okay, so now that I've got the balance on the ground here, we can do a little better side-by-side comparison on these terminals. So again, we got the red, yellow. This is yellow, and the black. If you look at the existing wiring here, you can see there's the red, there's the yellow, and then that's the black. So it's pretty simple to see where it went here, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be exactly the same thing up here on my Warn. Okay, so now I got to figure out how to take this off without messing up my winch. So it's going to be sort of a experimental, but with some logic in there. I think basically it all has to come off, because I'm not going to wire it back onto here. Like I said, I'm going to be using the remote switch inside the cab, okay? All right, so I'm going to go and take all this off, take all those cables off, and then install my existing cables that are coming off the truck on my winch. We'll plug it in, and if we see smoke, then that's not a good sign. So I hope my logic makes sense. So let's give it a try. Now, I wish I was a little bit smarter and thought about this ahead of time to remove these negative cables. Now it's going to be a pain in the butt. I may have to pull this winch off again. So, note to self, if you guys are doing this similar project, to remove the negative cable off the bottom of the winch and this electrical ground for the motor. All right, so I'm going to pause the video while I do this, because this is going to take some time to. I think I definitely got to pull the winch, the bumper off again, and then we'll come back to this. So hang tight. So I did want to just to mention here, I did some research last couple nights trying to find a good wiring diagram on the internet. And I couldn't really find one that really made sense to me. So that's why I'm doing this for you guys, because there's really not any videos out there on YouTube on this particular process where you're using existing wiring configuration like this, disconnecting all the Warn cables and the remote switches. So I hope that this is helpful for you and I don't F this up. So, whoa. All right, so here we go. All right, so earlier I was labeling on this box right here where these cables went to, but as you can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, you can see that each one of these terminals has a label already. So for example, if you're looking at it, so let me just share with you guys what it says if you can't read it. Okay, so this is A, this is F1, F2, and this says plus. Okay, so it looks something like this. This is how it went on. So this is positive, this is A, and I think that's also the power to the remote itself. And then this is F1 and then F2. So hope that was helpful. Okay, so I'm gonna put this back on, put my screws in here so I don't lose it, and I'm just gonna mount this on the top of my winch here so that it looks cool, but it won't be really functional other than just aesthetics at this point. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put this together off camera, and I'll be right back. I wanna share with you guys what I've done so far. Again, I'm not really sure if this is gonna work, but I think it will. This is the existing wires, the cables that came off my remote box onto these 3 terminals. That's including the actual cable right here that comes off the motor directly into the battery. So those 2 wires came off and these 3 wires came off. Okay, so now basically I got 0 wires. Oh, actually I got this ground wire coming out of here, the electrical ground wire, which I did put on the ground terminal just because. Other than that, yeah, it's pretty much bare. Again, this is going to be pretty much useless other than being cosmetic, and I want that Warn on there. Looks, you know, let everybody know what I got, right? All right, so here we go. Okay, so red will go on the outer terminal there. And the yellow will go out here to F2. If you guys happen to know what F1 and F2 means, please share that with the comments down below, because again, I don't really know the technical terms or how to really, the best way to do this other than trial and error and some logic and common sense. So hopefully it's going to work out. We're going to know really quick whether it's going to work out or not, right? It's either going to work or it's going to smoke and spark. Easy as that. Okay, so the last bolt I gotta put on here is the actual ground cable coming off the motor to the frame of the truck. Everything looks good. So now for the moment of truth, I'm going to go ahead and tap the negative terminal on the battery on the negative post, and hopefully it's going to do nothing. So that would be the perfect scenario. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to go ahead and tap this negative post on my battery, and the moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Oh, beauty. Nothing happened. Okay. That is a good sign. Nothing smoking. All right. So now let's go ahead and go inside the truck and see if the remote works. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sweet. All right, so I just finished up the project here, and I gotta say that on a scale of 1 to 10, this project was about a 2. And all in all, to summarize what we did today was basically we took off the old Badland winch and then took out all the wiring that came out of this remote box. Other than this electrical ground wire, I removed everything out of here. So this is basically non-functional. It's just for looks, unfortunately. Then I took the the existing wire that was on here, on the Badland, and connected it directly. So the post and the connection was identical to the Badland, the what do you call it, ZXR 12,000. So if you guys are looking to switch your Harbor Freight out with the Warn, the connection is all the same. Again, what's unique about this project was that it had internal wiring already set up with the remote for the inside to let the line out and in on the inside the cab, and also this secondary remote switch works just fine. So all in all, it was not as frightening as I thought it was going to be. So hope this was helpful for you guys. All right.